Chia! What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome back to the Conscious Connection. The name of today's video is Facing Your Path. But it's not really about facing your path. It's about realizing your choices are what created the current path you are on. So today I'm going to share with you who I am, the man behind the mask. Who is this gamer guy, and why does he call himself Relentless? I chose this gaming alias in my youth because that is how I wanted to define myself. I gave myself permission to identify as someone that never gives up and someone that will never quit. As a child, I grew up playing every sport, and I excelled at all of them. Being competitive was just in my nature. But baseball was my main game. In middle school, I was the most feared pitcher in our school district. It wouldn't be uncommon for me to strike out 15, 18 players per game, and I loved it. I played in multiple select baseball leagues non-stop, and I was constantly traveling to various cities and states for various tournaments. However, looking back, I now see I never really had time to be a teenager. Fast forward to college. I'm accepted into a private university. The yearly tuition is $30,000 per year. Keep in mind, I'm burned out on baseball. I didn't even bother trying out for the university's baseball team. I was never able to experience being a teenager. And then I was exposed to drink and smoke. I'm 18 years old, and no one told me that the consumption of these items could instantly change the way you feel, or don't feel. So I drank all the time, and smoked when it was available. It was great, until I realized you have to actually show up to your classes to be able to pass. So I'm yanked out of the private university I was attending, and I'm confronted with the fact that I just wasted $30,000 of my parents' hard-earned money. Upon arriving home, I'm informed that I will be attending XYZ Community College. With this, I reflect back to when I was in middle school. I specifically recall one instance where one student laughed and made fun of another student, saying, "Haha, your parents are so broke. You're probably going to end up in such and such community college when you get older." I am now faced with the realization that my choices have brought me to this very exact path. So here I am. I'm smoking that smoke and drinking that drink. I had no idea that continued use of the smoke and drink could lead to the development of major depressive disorder with psychotic features. Oh, sure. It pairs nicely with its moody cousin bipolar disorder. For the remainder of my life, I will have to be on medications. I don't recall much for the next 5 to 8 years, and I don't recall at what point I found AA. Maybe between the first or second hospitalization. I do not recall. But this is a pivotal moment for me. This is where I learned value of community, and I learned the importance of establishing a support system for myself. And with this, I'm able to pave a way to a better future. It was through this whole process that I observed I don't have to live this way. I define who I am and who I want to be. I wrote this quote while I was in recovery, and I'll share it with you. It goes, to be the best version of yourself, you have to learn to reject the things in your existence that are not in line with your values. I was in AA for maybe 5 to 6 years. I was a sponsor for maybe 2. The lesson I learned was say no to abuse, not just the substances, but saying no to the abuse of oneself. In AA, you make amends and right the wrongs. The key part of this process is to seek forgiveness from others. But what I learned was to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself so that you can move forward. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you will keep being who you've always been. It is said, environment shapes behavior, and behavior shapes your outcome. If you don't like your behavior, change your environment. If you don't like your outcome, change your behavior. I am relentless, and I will never give up, because quitters never win, and winners never quit. Always remember, you can do 2 things under pressure: collapse or make diamonds. Be a diamond. Thank you everyone for listening to my story. I am relentless, and you can be too.